No one ever worried about Jacob Carter. He was the guy who smiled first, laughed the loudest, and always said, "I'm good." At 31, Jacob worked at a logistics company in Austin, Texas. He was dependable, punctual, and friendly, the kind of person coworkers described as easygoing. What they didn't know was how heavy the silence felt when he went home. Jacob lived alone in a small apartment near the highway. At night, traffic hummed like a restless ocean, filling the space where conversations should have been. He used to enjoy the independence. Now, it just reminded him how empty everything felt. His life hadn't fallen apart all at once. It unraveled slowly. His father passed away 2 years earlier. His long-term relationship ended quietly, no dramatic fight. Just two people too tired to keep trying. His mother lived states away, and their conversations became shorter over time. Jacob told himself this was normal. Everyone was struggling. Everyone was tired. So he smiled. At work, he cracked jokes. He stayed late to help others. He never said no. When someone asked how he was doing, he answered automatically, "Good, man. Can't complain." But every night, the weight returned. Jacob lay awake replaying conversations, questioning his worth, wondering why life felt so heavy when nothing was technically wrong. He began skipping meals, then workouts, then social invitations. Not because he didn't care, but because pretending took an energy he no longer had. One Thursday evening, Jacob stopped at a grocery store. He stood in the cereal aisle, staring at boxes he didn't want, feeling strangely overwhelmed. A woman nearby dropped a jar. It shattered, glass skidding across the floor. "I'm so sorry," she said, embarrassed. Jacob bent down to help. "It's okay," he said gently. She smiled with relief. "Thank you for being kind." That word kind hit him unexpectedly. On his drive home, Jacob felt tears blur his vision. That night, the silence was louder than ever. He sat on the edge of his bed, phone in hand, scrolling aimlessly. Everyone seemed to be moving forward, engaged, promoted, traveling, smiling. He wondered when he'd last felt truly seen. Around 1:30 a.m., Jacob stood on his apartment balcony, staring down at the empty street below. He wasn't planning anything dramatic. He just felt tired. Tired of being strong. Tired of explaining nothing. Tired of smiling through the ache. A voice interrupted his thoughts. "You okay?" Jacob turned. His neighbor, Mr. Reynolds, stood on the adjacent balcony. "Yeah," Jacob said automatically. Mr. Reynolds didn't look convinced. "Mind if I join you?" he asked. They stood there for a moment, the city between them. "My wife used to stand out here," Mr. Reynolds said suddenly. When things felt heavy, Jacob said nothing. "She passed last year," he continued. "Cancer. But before that, she battled depression for years." Jacob's chest tightened. "She smiled a lot," Mr. Reynolds said. "People thought she was the happiest person in the room." Jacob swallowed. "One night," Mr. Reynolds said softly, "I finally asked her a question I should have asked sooner." "What question?" Jacob asked. "Are you pretending for us?" The words cracked something open. Jacob felt his eyes burn. "I don't know why I'm telling you this," Mr. Reynolds said, "but sometimes people don't need advice. They just need permission to not be okay." Jacob's voice shook. What if you don't know how to say it out loud?" Mr. Reynolds nodded. "Then you start with the truth, even if it's small." Silence settled again, this time different. "I'm not okay," Jacob whispered. The words felt terrifying and freeing. Mr. Reynolds didn't rush, didn't interrupt. "Thank you for trusting me with that," he said. They talked until sunrise, about grief, about pressure, about how loneliness doesn't always look lonely. The next morning, Jacob called his mother. "I miss you," he said. She cried. Later that week, Jacob visited a therapist. The first session was awkward, emotional, necessary. At work, he stopped forcing jokes. He still smiled, but when someone asked how he was doing, he said, "I'm working on it." And surprisingly, people leaned in, not away. A coworker admitted she was struggling too. Another shared his own therapy journey. Jacob realized something powerful. The moment you stop pretending, you give others permission to breathe. Months passed. Healing wasn't linear. Some days were light, others heavy. But Jacob wasn't alone anymore. He started volunteering at a local support group, not as an expert, but as someone who understood. One evening, a young man spoke quietly. "I feel invisible," he said. "Like if I disappeared, no one would notice." Jacob remembered the balcony, the silence, the exhaustion. He leaned forward. "I would notice," he said. The man looked up, surprised. Jacob smiled, not the old mask, but a real one. Years later, Jacob stood on that same balcony, this time holding a mug of coffee, watching the city wake up. Life wasn't perfect, but it was real. And for the first time in a long time, that felt like enough. If this story touched your heart or reminded you that you're not alone, please like, share, and subscribe to Tales Studio for more stories about life, kindness, and real human emotions. Thanks for watching.